Åsa, thank you so much for joining us here at IMpower. Great to see you again, and at a crucial time in this industry, I guess. It's such a tricky environment. So how do you stand out, and what strategies do you need to employ to succeed in this environment?
Yes, I fully agree with you. It is an incredibly challenging environment. I've been in the industry for 30 years, and it's certainly one of the most challenging macro environments that we've seen. You know, very much high interest rates, high inflation, macro environment where we're seeing it incredibly difficult for governments to balance all the requirements when it comes to the political risk, and also clearly the unrest we're seeing in Europe with the war in Ukraine on this year too. At the same time, we as business leaders need to run our businesses and make sure we're navigating that uncertainty in the best way possible.
What is the best way possible, and how do you differentiate in an environment like this? What tools do you need in your toolkit?
Yes, well, there's never just one secret ingredient to the magic sauce. I think there's a key to have a number of, from my perspective, I like to have a broad sense of ways of navigating the uncertainty rather than just one. I think we are very strongly focused on from the investment management side of active investing and creating alpha. So there's not a free lunch, so to say, in the industry jargon. You're not going to be able to drive that return from investing in an index in equity or fixed income. You need to be very much active and make those active decisions. So that's key to us. At the same time, we want to make sure that our distribution, our client-facing individuals in the teams have the chance to think about all the channels, all the geographies, and all the nuances depending on local regulatory and governance requirement in order to navigate. And then, first and foremost, clearly my most important ingredients in that secret sauce is my people. They walk in and out the door every day, and retaining and nurturing that talent in our people is absolutely critical.
Indeed, the active management that you're talking about requires that depth of expertise. Supporting that expertise, though, we are seeing more innovation and obviously tech coming in. What would you say about that, and how the two can actually work together to provide a much better outcome?
Yes, so I think for me it's going to be absolutely critical, and we have already very much integrated the data analytics into our process of engaging with investors, and data and technology is just one part. We very much now have product, marketing, legal, compliance, together with the clearly distribution folks working and coming up with the solutions for those clients. So data and digital is very much one part of the solution, but first and foremost, this is very much a relationship business. So ultimately, nothing is going to be able to replace that personal relationship and engagement and hand-holding through this world of uncertainty.
So there's got to be a sort of a marrying of the two, tech and expertise, but also in that sort of we've got to, I suppose, consider regulation and what sort of policies and things are going to come into place to challenge that space too.
Oh, absolutely. There is a plethora of new regulation coming into fore, and we clearly need to make sure that we have the subject matter experts partnering with external experts to make sure that we build a robust business that can meet those requirements. And I think as an industry, we are used to working and partnering with the regulators to come up with those best solutions. Many times we just can't wait for the regulator to come out with new we need to bottom up, think internally, how do we weather for any storms that come towards us in order to make sure that we've got those risk and scenario analysis done on our business.
IMpower is a great opportunity to share ideas, but this year there's a new initiative, Women Mean Business, and I know this is something you feel quite passionately about in terms of improving diversity and seeing more women in executive roles in this management industry.
Yes, I think having started on the portfolio management side in the mid-90s, I was in most instances the only female in the room. In fact, I was many times the only non-Brit in the room, still only having a European passport. So I think I'm used to there being a shortage of diversity from any perspective. I think first and foremost, I think it's critical that we think about actually applying a diversity of thought in everything we do need. I'd like to be a role model for young women coming into our industry. I think it's key to me that they will only want to join our industry if they see the right type of leadership, the right type of behaviors from more experienced women coming in. I'm very fortunate. I have 3 children, 2 of them being girls, one of them already working in our industry. So I'm very much hearing feedback from her of exactly the sort of things that we need to work on and keep front and center. But it's never going to be moving fast enough unless we apply regulations. So again, I've been delighted to see that sort of partnering with the regulators to make sure that we have that diversity moving forward in an informed way. And we need, as senior executives, women in our industry, take some of that next new talent that will take the business forward the next day. We need to take those under our wings and handhold and guide and work with them.
And actually initiatives like this at IMpower are going to be really helpful to that.
Oh, absolutely indeed. Yes, I think there's been a women's luncheon both days, and I sadly wasn't able to join yesterday because I was speaking at the same time, but I think today I'm going to join and I look forward to it. And I'm very mindful and respectful that there are a number of women who don't like women-only events, and they feel that actually that's excluding very important sponsors being male into the conversation. So I think we need to be mindful of the fact that women-only lunch sessions that we'll do today are important, but we also need to think making sure that we have those male supporters and influencers that have a voice into the conversations we are having.
Just on those themes about diversity, you touched on that. It's not just diversity of gender, is it? We need teams in this environment with the innovation that's happening that think differently.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about diversity of thought, and I guess those future leaders also of our investors, our clients, they will look different and think different to perhaps those clients and gatekeepers and investors that I'm engaging with and you're engaging with today. And we need to make sure, therefore, that the type of next generation of leaders are actually representing a true representation of those engagement models of the way they want to and will be expecting to engage with us will be different to the one. And you alluded to data earlier. I think the whole aspect of the media and the data and technology they will expect to use in order to engage with us is really quite different to the one we're used to looking back 10 years, 20 years or even 30 years.
It's a very complex picture, so also what will you be looking at in the next 12 months and what will you be focusing on just finally?
I think if I stick with the diversity piece, I mean we are, Principal Asset Management is very much a specialist with depth, and I think we can't be all things to all people, so being very much considerate and thoughtful in where we go to specialise and being deep. I am a female and I am fortunate enough to be CEO of our business here in Europe, so I think whatever I can do in the next 12 months to lean in and represent us women in the industry, I'll do the best I can. I'm also chair for the EMEA of the ICI Council, and I think in that role I also have an opportunity to make sure I can influence in the next 12 months. Clearly, my day job is to make sure that we have a profitable, successful business of Principal Asset Management in Europe. So that is my day job that needs to make sure I stay focused on delivering on.
There's an awful lot of female investors out there to tap into, aren't there?
There is indeed.
Also, thank you so much. Always great to hear your thoughts. Thanks for sharing them.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.